Hello everyone, and welcome back to Revit Snippets. Great tips you can learn in just a few minutes. It's a nice and quick one today. We'll see how to quickly convert any Revit family into line-based or curve-based families. For example, I have here this single auditorium chair. It's a normal family you can create individual instances for, just like this. We will see now how to convert this chair into a line-based chair family like this. If I go to create similar now, as you can see, I can create them using 2 points, one for the start and one for the end. We will next take it further and create this family here that generates our chairs along an arc. So if I try to create similar again, with this one I can pick 3 points, start point, middle point, and the end point. And as you can see, depending on the size of my curve, I will get either more or fewer chairs. I can even go to here, go to edit type, and change the rotation angle of those chairs. I can also adjust their spacing from here, very quickly and easily. By the way, if you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe now, because we do tutorials like this every single day. Okay, let's get started. I will close everything down now, except from the family we want to start from. That's the one there. If I go to 3D now, it's just a simple family with nothing moving. To begin, the first thing to make sure of is the family has a location point position that we require. If I go now to the level view again, you can see that the family here is placed from this armrest on the left, because here I have one reference plane and then another one. The point where those two planes intersect, this one will be my location point for this family. Let me show you what that means if I now create just a quick blank project. And then load this family into there. Place it on the work plane. You can see now I'm placing it from that point on the armrest. This is fine for now, but I actually want to place this from the center of the geometry. To do so, let's select everything there. And then move it so that the two reference planes there will intersect at the center of my geometry. So I will pick on this middle point there and then move it this way. Here we go. If I now load this back into the project and do create similar on the work plane again, you can see now it's being placed from that center point. It's entirely up to you which point you can use for placement, but my own preference is this center point for the family. Okay, next step. We can create the line-based family from these components now. This is an easy one. Just go to File, New, Family, and then choose Generic Model Line-Based, this template there. We can now nest the chair family into this new object. Let's go to here and choose to load into Family 6. I can now place this on a work plane again and put it right here. We can now save this one. Line-based chairs 2. Now, if you haven't noticed, this family comes prepared for us to do what we need, because it has already this length parameter there between those two reference planes. I can now try to make that parameter a bit bigger. Let's change this now to 3200. We can then select this chair and do an array. I will go to specify the second item in the array and the number of items. Let's put this as 5 for now. We can now go and start the array from this center point, going in this direction. Now, most people will try to create the second element in the right place immediately, but for me it's much safer to do it off to the side and then move it back into position, because then I can do my alignment manually to make sure they work. So instead of placing it right there, I will place it down here. And press enter to accept this number. I can now select on this item there and change this parameter to count, because this will be the number of items in my array. We can now change this to be an instance parameter, because every time I draw this element, the length can be different, and I don't want to make a new type every time I have a new length, so instance is the way to go. Click OK to confirm that. And here what I was talking about, I can now go to Align, click on this plane there, and then make sure my second item is placed along that plane as well. I can now lock this, being sure that the alignment is there. Next step, we need to draw another reference spline here and do a dimension from this to there and call this spacing. This will be the spacing between any two elements in my array, and I can keep this as a type parameter. I can now do align one more time and make sure my second element is there along this second plane as well. So click on the plane, and when you go to here, make sure you click on this highlighted invisible line there, because that's the reference plane in the family. And then you can lock it. This spacing is a bit big for now. I can now go to here now and change this to maybe 700. When I do OK, you can see the whole array has updated. There's one small problem though. If I now make this length a bit longer, you can see my array doesn't do anything because we need to create another constraint here. Let's go to the family types button. Under count, we can do a formula here, and this can be length divided by spacing. This may not be a round number, but because this parameter is an integer, it will round up or round down my number for me anyway. Click OK now, and there you have them. We can now save this family and bring it into the project. Number 3. It is now super easy to click 2 points to place it, just like that. Even when it's placed, I can click on this now and change the length if I need to. That will give me more chairs. Because we do the spacing parameter as well, I can now go to edit type and give it a more realistic value. Check on 3D now, and they're all there. Alright, that's the easy one. We can now do the curve-based family as well. For that, I need to start from a different family template. Let's go to New, Family again. And this time we can go for Generic Model Adaptive. In here now, I can start dropping one point on the canvas. Select a point now, and make it adaptive point. Next step, I can do another point, but this time I'm drawing it on this work plane along this other point already there. We can now click on Set, and then select the desired work plane. With that done, I can now place this second point right on top of the first one. I can now select it, and then under Properties, I can see I now have this parameter called Rotation Angle. Let's now turn this into a parameter. You will see why we need it a bit later on. For now, I'll call this simply Rotation Angle. Next step, we need to go back to our chair family now. This normal family, remember? And now load this into the new adaptive components family, family 7. Make sure you want to place it on a work plane and set the work plane now to be the horizontal plane along the second point we placed in here. Not the point with the number 1, but the second point on top of it. Actually, you know what? To make it easier, I will select this default point now and just hide it for a moment. That makes it easier for me now to go to Set and select this horizontal plane there, and then click it. With that done, I can go to Create, Component, place new components on the work plane, and put my chair right there. Now check it out. If I go to Family Types now, remember we made this rotation angle parameter. If I now change this to maybe 45 degrees, the chair rotates accordingly. And that will come in handy a bit later on. I can now save this family as Adaptive Chair. Next step, we need to make a second family now to host this one. I can go to New, Family again, and this time also go for the same template, Generic Model Adaptive. In here now, it's time for us to create our arc. Let's drop in here 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Select everything there and make them all adaptive. I can now go to Reference Line, click on the Arc tool, choose to draw this arc on a plane or face, and make sure 3D snapping is selected there. I can now go and specify the start point of the arc, the end point of it, and then the middle point right there. You can see now if I move my points, that arc will follow closely wherever I go. We can now select the arc and do Divide Path. I can now isolate the divided path and change the layout rule to be fixed distance. Let's use it here the same spacing we did in the other family, 650 I guess. And to give ourselves flexibility, let's make this into a parameter as well. Also call this spacing. I can now return to the adaptive chair family and load this into the latest family I just created, family 8. We can now click on this point to place it. As I go there, you can see it's not snapping, and that's because we are placing this on a work plane. For this step, I need to change this to place on face. And here's snapping well. I can now place a first chair right there. Now, something's wrong. This chair is lying flat on the ground. That's not useful for anyone. Let's go back to the chair family now and see if we can fix it. It's really simple actually. I just have to go and get this adaptive point there. Under Orients 2, change this now to Global Z and then Host XY. That means the Z-axis for this item will always follow the Global Z-axis, which always points up. With that fixed, I can now load this back into the Adaptive Curve family. Here we go. You can see the chair is upright already. Let's now save this family before we forget. Curve-based chairs. I can now select this chair. And because it's not facing the right way, I can go to Edit Type now and change this angle to 90 degrees. Here we go. Anyway, I just noticed a small problem. If I go back to select this chair now, you can see this parameter can be changed here, but we don't have the option to link it into a new parameter. That won't come in handy because we may need to change this angle later on in the project. To fix this, I need to go back to this adaptive chair component and make sure that it's not shared. Untick this box, and I can now load this back into the other family. You see, that's not allowed because this version is already there and is shared. To do this properly, I need to actually go back here, delete this family there, and also its type under families. Just do delete from here. And now it should allow me to load this family back, because there's no previous version in here. I can now place the chair one more time. Go back to properties. And I can see, firstly, the angle can still be edited, but I also have the choice now to link this into a new parameter. Let's call this one rotation angle as well. Okay. It's time now for me to repeat this chair along this curve. Simply click on repeat on this ribbon to do that. And there you have them. Of course, they are fully parametric. If I go now to reset the view and make this curve a bit longer, that should give me more chair as well, just like that. Very flexible and nice to do. It's about time we give it a chance to shine in the project. Let's go to here and load this to project 3. Now, I can choose to place it on a face, but for now let's stick to a work plane. And here we can click 3 points to place it. 1, 2, 3. And as you can see there, the angle is the wrong value again. But worry not, because I can easily change that after placement. Also, it's a bit arbitrary, because you can see now, if I go a bit longer on the curve, the orientation is right, but if I make the curve a bit shorter, it suddenly goes to the wrong angle. Let's place it anyway, and I can now select it here, go to Edit Type, and change this back to 0 if I need to. And now it's fixed. Last thing to fix is those black points below our chairs. If you want to turn them off, just go back to the family now. Click on the divided path, this line here with those blue dots on it. Go to this path representation panel and click on this little arrow here at the end. Very hard to see. I can now untick nodes to turn off their visibility and do OK. They have gone from here now, and if I load this back into the project, they should vanish here as well. And they did. Now we have exactly the same families that I showed at the beginning of the lesson. Alright, if you enjoyed this lesson and want more like this every single day, make sure to subscribe to this channel. For now, practice creating those objects, and I'll see you in the next lesson.